We got something going today, y'all. It's your boy Words by Waters, aka Waters. Oh yeah, make sure y'all like, subscribe, share. I've been trying to get better at that. I know y'all seen the last video I had to do with my daughter, and hopefully I said it twice. I think I might have said it twice in that video, but I'm making sure I'm saying it in the beginning, I said it in the middle, and then I said it in the end. So y'all hold me to that. Hold me to if I'm being a man of my word. But I was saying, before I even realized I didn't record, I was saying that I had to get my phone because I want to pull up Siri. I need to have my phone just in case, because you never know when you're going to need Siri, when you need to pull up Siri to ask Siri a question. But yes, today I'm here. As y'all can see, I got the background. The background is the whiteboard. Something I've been thinking about doing for a while. And I was talking to my little boy about it today, and he was telling me about which video I was going to do. And I was like, I'm going to do a whiteboard. I'm going to do a whiteboard with Waters today. So that's what we're doing. Try to start introducing these more. I've had whiteboards for a long time, and they changed my life, and they've been very, very helpful for my life. Being able to help me visualize where I want to go in life. I think we are visual people. We've always been visual people since the beginning of mankind, just for survival modes, which, don't worry, y'all gonna hear the word survival again today. But for human and mankind, woman and mankind, we've always been survival. Everything's been locked in us to survive, to make sure that we're surviving through the night, through the day, and visual in our sight is something that made us survive for this long and actually thrive. And yeah, go check in. I know I put in the description last time that I was gonna put a description about the video where I said these 2 gifts can make you make sure you're never broke again. So go check that video out. I'll put the last video in there about possession, about how perfection doesn't require you to, or success doesn't require you to be perfect. It requires you to have an obsession. So pretty much I think the title is success doesn't require perfection, it requires obsession. So I'll put that in the description as well. Y'all go check that one and tap in with that one as well. But the whiteboard is really for the purpose of inspiring people visually and being able to break down these concepts that I bring to the marketplace, that I bring to my channel and bring to the YouTube world, YouTube University. So hence why y'all see the whiteboard in the background. And as y'all can see with the title, as it says about what's keeping you last in this race. Because at the end of the day, it's not a race to compete against anybody else but yourself. So it still as essential as a race. Because I want people to realize that, hey, you may die today. Today could be the last day that you talk to your mom, talk to your kids, talk to your loved ones, talk to your friend, talk to your spouse. But you also may live tomorrow. So it's a race really against yourself, but a race against time. And I think most people don't start thinking it's a race until they start living with regrets and feeling like they have to rush because of all of the mistakes that they made. So the point of this whiteboard and this video that I have today is to describe to you how you are keeping yourself last in this race and how not to keep yourself last. And I want to start off with 2 things that I think is important to understand from a structural perspective and standpoint, and being able to see how these relate to everything else that I'm gonna bring to the forefront when it comes to how we think as people and why we think putting ourselves as last or putting ourselves last and not even thinking about it. Let me take that back. We don't even think most of the times that we're putting ourselves last. We just put ourselves last naturally. And the ways that we put ourselves last naturally is whether we're in these 1 or 2 categories. The first category is the word I just used earlier, so I'm gonna write that down. It's survival. Survival. Let me make that a little neater. I really like making my words neater. I'm not gonna be one of those whiteboard people who stuff you like, I can't even tell which out it wrote. So survival. And then it's survival versus striving. So let's rewrite that. So you're either surviving, I'll just take that off for the sake of time. You're either surviving or you're striving. You're either surviving or you're striving. And it's crazy because when you're looking at everything, and I'm sure because of the way I got the camera that y'all see that backwards, but when you are looking at everything here and you're noticing, it's the difference between what's keeping you last because of this thing or what's keeping you first or at least ahead in the race because of the other thing. See, most of the times when we're living life because we are living from a place of surviving and survival because that's what we know. People naturally think from a scary place because once upon a time we were not the largest on the food chain. So most of the decisions that we make are surviving decisions. And the surviving decisions are the first thing that we think about in our choice when it comes on the day to day and the choices that we make. So the two categories, surviving and striving, fit your life and what you do on the day to day in relation to the two. So most people live from a surviving standpoint because they say, well, if I make money, I'm going to put in the surviving category off the bat. So that means you're paying everyone off the bat to make sure you're surviving. Those people can be food, which if you have food, then you're thinking about places like Kroger, Publix, grocery store. You can think about rent. That could be your house, APT, your apartment. Then you can think about your car or your transportation. I'll just put transpo. These are surviving things. These are all surviving things, y'all. These are all surviving things. But when you get paid, these are the first things that you pay for, right? Because you know, I have to have somewhere to live. I have to have a car to drive. I have to have some food. You have to have these things. And that's okay. That's fine. But those things and having those things be the first thing that you do will only keep you surviving. You can't strive if you're living like this and you're only thinking about this. So as soon as you get your check, you already have if you're doing it right and you are have some type of financial literacy and some financial budgeting, you already have it to where you're coming in and you're having this taking off of. You have the food, you have the rent, it's coming out automatically, automatic withdrawals. Oop, you pay, on the first month, the rent's coming out. Whatever amount of rent you pay, oops. If you're coming in, if you're smart, you already budgeted $200 aside for the food, $300, $100, whatever you have for your budget for the week or for the month. For your car, oops, already direct deposit, direct withdrawal, your car note's already taken out. So these are just the basic things. You know, well, let's just say water is included, utilities is included in the rent. So those are the things that's already coming out. But if you're only thinking about these things from a survival standpoint and making sure that you're surviving, you will never think about, well, what decisions do I have to make with my money to survive? To strive. This is a thick line between these two. But most people don't understand that the line between these two are like night and day, but are also like bondage and freedom. You'll forever feel like you're stuck in a survival mentality, in a survival state of mind, because that's what you're naturally doing as a human being. But the people who learn to succeed and transcend beyond surviving are the ones who run this world, are the ones who actually own the Krogers, are the ones who actually own the apartments that you stay in, are the ones who actually own the car lot that you got your car from, the CarMax or the Carvana or the neighborhood Benz or neighborhood Lexus. You know, hopefully if you do own a Benz or a Lexus, you're not thinking about this. You're over here on this striving side. Or even a Honda. And there's nothing wrong with Honda if you're playing the game right. But the people who own these things, they have you in survival mode to make sure, like, you know what, as long as we're here and surviving. And I'm going to talk to the minorities first, you know what I'm saying? The black people, the brown people, even the impoverished white people, but primarily the black and brown people in this country, because there is and will always be something considered as white privilege. But I understand even white people have a struggle and they have to struggle as well. So this is partially for those people who grew up in poverty. You got to realize that you never had anybody, for the most part, teach you anything besides survival, because you were already squeezed from both sides. Whether your parents was like second generation immigrants, as in, you know, came over in the 1980s, 1960s and 70s, like how a lot of the immigrants did from Latinos, and, you know, been able to come over here and try to establish, and then just black people who've been here since the beginning of this American thing was being built pretty much. You haven't had anybody come to you and say, you need to stop thinking about life or your money from a surviving standpoint and start thinking about your money from a striving standpoint. What do you have to do to make yourself feel like you're striving with your money? And I'll get to that in a second. I just want to break down the surviving part so y'all can understand that. So this is good because most people are below the surviving level. Most people are barring living on somebody's couch, old, and should have already been mastered the surviving level, but still having to rely on other people, can't afford to stay by themselves. And I know times are hard, y'all. I get it. But what I realize is that times are hard, but as hard as you think they have gotten, they've gotten even easier. So I'm not with that whole, oh man, it's hard right now. Prices are high. So, man, prices are as cheap as they've ever fucking been. You know why? Because it's so much easier to make money. Money's worth less than it used to be, but it's easier to get. So the how much it's worth really doesn't matter because you can buy some shit a lot quicker than you can. So I get it. I get it. Lord forbid something happen to me. I break a leg. I'm out of work for a long ass time, or my mind just goes and turns to a motherfucking vegetable. And I think about those type of things. But for those people who are still in this level that's below surviving, then they won't even understand this. But this is the basic level that you're at that's keeping you last in this race to succeed and evolve and become the best version of yourself financially. It's the survival stage, y'all. You have to get out of the survival stage. You have to get out of when you get your check, the first thing you're doing is paying all your bills because you're scared that you won't have nothing else beyond that. Now, if you're below this, then this is really for you. And that's a whole nother conversation about how to just do financial budgeting and disciplining and all that. I'll probably have another video for that in general. But for those people who are at this level now, who actually have a crib and they're paying their bills, and I'm not taking nothing away from you. I'm just challenging you to be able to grow and have the mentality of what you need to do to start getting in the third place, second place, first place of this race of yourself, of this race of who you can be financially in your own life moving forward later on. And I have to keep harping on, if you're not even at this level, this is still somewhat for you. So there's not a comparison, oh, well, at least I do got a career, at least I am cool. You know, my kids in the next room probably can't even hear me. And the fact of the matter is, I still challenge them to boss the fuck up and be like, okay, it's cool. Yeah, you did. You got an A. I'm proud of you. Cool. We can go out and get some ice cream. I can pat you on the back. We can get some chips and cookies or whatever. But at the same time, there's a level beyond that. Because if you get too complacent, you'll start wanting rewards and flowers for stuff that you shouldn't have already gotten because you got the reward for it already. And you're still worried about what you did last week. People forget what you did last week. People forget what you did a month ago. They don't fucking say, well, you paid your money in April. You paid your rent in April, so don't worry about paying it in May. They don't say that. They don't say, well, it's okay. You paid your Netflix account in January, so don't worry about paying it in February. You were good last month. It doesn't work like that. Life always challenges you. For those so for those people who are at this level, pat yourself on the back. Kudos, shouts out to you. Okay, let's go. But the next level is going from surviving and moving up to the level of striving, y'all. Striving, when you were able to say, you know what, I'm good. I pay these bills, I pay this rent, I do these things, and I make it to the point to where it's not a hassle to do it because I already have that automatic withdrawal for my bills. I have that automatic withdrawal for my rent. I have that automatic withdrawal for my food, and it's put in a separate account. But now I'm about to start talking about something different. Surviving includes what I'm about to see here, y'all. And forgive me, this is the first White Boy by Water, so I know everything's written backwards and the words are not as big as they can be, but hopefully y'all can see a little bit what I'm saying. That's what I'm pointing out, and I'm describing what I'm saying. But striving looks like this. Striving looks like automatic. And this should be second, dog, but I'm thinking, you know, my mind, y'all start realizing that my mind kind of goes all over the place and I try to be super structured, but sometimes it's good to free flow. But striving looks like automatic deposit, as in pay yourself first. Because you look here, you see here, I'm gonna put new categories. So here, you pay yourself. When you're surviving, you pay someone else. Pay someone else. Someone else. When you're surviving, you pay someone else. You're constantly living out of fear to pay someone else when you're surviving. You're paying someone else. You're paying Kroger's. You're paying the rental property company. You're paying the landlords. You're paying CarMax. You're paying the car note that you own. You're paying someone else. So essentially the money that you have is not even yours. And we're going to get to this next level. That level is like the end of the striving part about what I'm trusting. I'm going to whip it up and put it in a little cajita for you and put a box on the top like I say. But this part right here, surviving, paying someone else. You will only be surviving when you're paying someone else. You will never be able to strive when you're constantly paying someone else, okay? So the first thing you have to do is start realizing that striving starts with pay yourself first. Pay yourself. Automatic deposit. The same way you have an automatic withdrawal to pay someone else, your automatic withdrawal, peep game, y'all. Your automatic withdrawal is somebody else's automatic deposit. I might even put that in Instagram post tomorrow, you know what I'm talking about? But think about it for real. Your automatic withdrawal is somebody else's automatic deposit. Now reverse that. The real boss up is when when somebody else's automatic deposit, when somebody else's automatic withdrawal is your automatic deposit. That's the game right there. That's the game. Mind blown. And that's how it has to be. So the first rule of crossing over from surviving to striving is pay yourself. Automatic deposit. The first vehicle that you can use for automatic deposit. And I'm not gonna get too in depth to because a lot of folks try to come in too hard, y'all. Like I said, my goal is, and I will repeat my one mission statement, my one sentence mission statement is to help or / aid people to be the first person in their family to point their financial compass in a direction. So I'm never gonna come in my videos, or at least this early in my videos, and be like, pick this stock, do this bank account, do. No, you gotta get the mental foundation and the philosophies and the foundation solid first before you start understanding what motions to pay. It's like the little kid, and I said this before, but it's like the little kid in every little karate movie, Karate Kids, all the karate movies, the little kid go there, he want to learn how to kick somebody's ass because he was a bully, beat him up. And then the sensei like, no, young grasshopper, you got to learn how to meditate first. You got to learn how to do this one little jab 1,000 times first. It's because you have to get your mind in the motion and being able to continuously do this, the muscle memory. You have to make it a habit. You created a life's worth of negative habits. You didn't learn how to do that negative habit at one time. You didn't learn how to do that negative habit in just 1 week. You didn't learn how to do the negative habit in just 1 month or 1 year. So that's the reason why I don't just jump into go get this bank account, go put into this ETF, go put into this this iBond, go put into, because it's like you got to get the habit to understand why you need to do that in the first place and understand how important it is to get that locked in, because the secret is to keep it. So that's why I say pay yourself first. Automatic deposit. One form of automatic deposit could be just take out, and everybody has said it, but one thing I learned about finance, y'all, is that it's one of the easiest things to understand if you make it simple. Most people try to, and I wish I had one of my books with me right now, but there's a book called Millionaire Next Door, The Next Millionaire Next Door, The Woman That Millionaire Next Door. That whole little Millionaire Next Door series is fire because it shows you that the person that you think is a millionaire is not always the person that's pushing the Maserati or the Ferrari in the big house. It can actually be the person that's living next door to you that got a little 3-bedroom in your neighborhood, but they got probably about 40, 50 rental properties throughout the country, or some couple of houses in a beach or somewhere off an island or somewhere, and it just shows that it's simple. It's simple. Y'all learn from me. I have more of a Benjamin Graham, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger value investment type of mentality. I want the boring billions. I can have fun and look flashy doing other things, but when it comes to making money, I want my money to be logical, and I don't mind it being boring. So y'all gotta be okay with that in the beginning, especially when you're down bad as fuck and you ain't got no money and your financial compass is broke. So you gotta understand how important it is to be like, okay, pay yourself automatic deposit. The first thing you can do that's easy automatic deposit is just take the number that most people tell you, which is an accurate number. I say start at 10, and if you can go up to 20 because of how high things is and everything is about your buying power. I won't get too deep into that. Just take 10% of any money that you make and put it to a side and pay yourself before this. That's the key. I can just stop the video right there and just be like, we done. You know what I'm saying? We done. But that is the key. If you can just take, I don't even care if it's $5, just put $5 aside before you pay your rent. And I know it sounds scary, y'all. I know it sounds scary, but you know what's even funnier? After you pay your rent, you gonna go pay yourself, or you gonna spend and splurge 4 times $5. You gonna go there and splurge 25 times $5. You gonna go and splurge 20 times $5 just because you like, man, I just paid this rent. I gotta go feel good about it. So you gonna tell me you gonna just pay your rent out of some survival bullshit, and then you gotta go spend $100 to make yourself feel good because you just paid your rent? That shit don't be making no sense. It's like people who get a brand new job and then they go spend a whole bunch of money on shit they don't need. It's like you just came up 1,000 just to go back down $900. But anyway, so the automatic deposit part is very important. It is the bridge between surviving and striving, and the bridge that holds the foundation for every other thing that needs to walk over it. So every other philosophy that will cross over the bridge of surviving and to striving is built on the foundation of paying yourself and finding that number that you can pay yourself with that you feel comfortable with. And I say 10. If you can't do $10, if you can't do 10%, then do 5%. But just make sure you're doing that first. And like I said, I know feeling like you gotta just, oh man, I'm not gonna pay. But that's why it's automatic deposit. The same way you got automatic withdrawal, find an account and just say automatic deposit into my account, $10. Because I have in my book, Money is an Art. That's why this book gonna be fire. I'm telling you, this book is gonna change people's lives. Mark my word, y'all. And y'all gonna be on YouTube. And I'll make sure for all my YouTube viewers, all my 74 big YouTubes, y'all ain't know little YouTube viewers, all my little 74, big 74 subscribers, make sure I give y'all a good little discount on it if y'all tap in and get it through jbwaters.com. I got y'all. Because even in that book, it says, money take care of those that take care of it. So by you taking that money and taking care of it, it's going to take care of you. So you don't have to worry about like, oh man, I'm putting $10 aside. I ain't handling my business because I put $10 aside before I went and paid my rent or before I went and paid my, you ain't got to worry about that because you already figured out the part. If you at this level, you already figured out the part about the automatic withdrawal for the rent and the automatic withdrawal for the car max and the car note. So that's already gone. So what you got to do is not live from a place of fear and just go ahead and make a decision that you're going to regret. So you might as well just already have that out. And excuse me, that's what I lost. I lost the sauce. The core principle within the book is people's money take care of those that take care of it. And the sub-core principle of that core principle is most people's money is better in somebody else's hands. Sorry, I got lost in my own sauce for a second. So that was my point. Most people's money is better in somebody else's hand. So your money most likely is not even good in your hands because when you get it, you about to go splurge and spend $100 because you just feel bad about paying your rent. Or you about to go out with your homegirls. Oh, my homegirl, she said she gonna do something. I'm about to go spend $40 at the bar with her. We just paid our rent, so we gotta. Like, you just made a dumbass decision with your money. But if you would have had that automatic withdrawal, then that money would have been gone. And what's even crazy about that is that if you have so many automatic withdrawals, even if you got a bad habit, because I've done it, y'all. I've done it. When I wasn't good at this, what I'm talking about, because I'm good at it now. I can say good. I can't say great and I can't say master, but I can say I'm good. But even when I wasn't good at this, I was like having my automatic withdrawals and I was still spending money I need to spend. Primarily on investing. I ain't gonna lie. I for the last 5 years, I've not been a nigga that's been splurging on nothing. So I would just spend too much investment money, like on entrepreneur endeavors and just going after the big goal. Like, that's just where I am. I've just been gambling with becoming an entrepreneur and not even on those stupid ass, like, get rich schemes. It's just building the companies that y'all are witnessing me build. But even then, I would spend a lot and I'd be like, oh shit, I done almost burned out. But then I realized I had so much money coming out on my automatic deposit that I was never down bad. So I had like $1,200, you know what I'm saying, $1,300, $2,000 set aside because I just was unconsciously having that money taken out. Why? Because my money was better in somebody else's hand. Because I wasn't good enough to know, okay, cool, I just need to slow down on investing this money and just let it stack up on my savings. And my kids, I talk to my kids about everything when it comes to money. So they'll know, like, okay, I seen Poppy do this when he was growing up. Okay, he did have to come to us and be like, all right, y'all, Daddy gonna fall back on investment a little bit. We ain't gonna go out and hit the streets and try to sell some stuff or be an entrepreneur as much this week. We're gonna fall back and just be a regular, you know what I'm saying, 9-to-5 corporate guy, which pays me well and I do enjoy it. But at the same time, you can't get free from a corporation, you know, especially if you didn't come in and you didn't get that equity in the beginning and they're not about to go public. You're not about to get no $2 million check because the company just went public because you got a lot of equity in it. That's a different story, different day, different YouTube. But anyway, y'all, the first step to striving is paying yourself automatic deposit. Okay? That's the biggest threshold. Like I said, I can start right there. But the second step is paying yourself, and then I'm gonna end it with this, y'all. paying yourself, but working on see that? Y'all probably can't. But that says working on who will pay you. So after you pay yourself, automatic deposit, I'm gonna have another video because I'm gonna go back and watch this to take my notes of all the videos I said could connect with this one, maybe do a part 2, part 3. But after you work on paying yourself through automatic deposit, you need to start figuring out what that automatic deposit money is gonna go to. So a little bit for savings, a little bit for investments. But at the end of all of that, you need to figure out working on who will pay you. So you need to worry about, okay, who is the person in the avatar, as in the ICP, and in business that stands for ideal customer profile. What does that person look like, or who is that person whose automatic deposit will be or whose automatic withdrawal will be my automatic deposit? You need to work on finding your automatic deposit. So who has my money, like Grant Cardone says, just to quote him, because I think what I'm saying, he's probably one of the only other person that I heard put it in the way that I'm saying. So you got to get credit what credit's due. So like Grant Cardone has mentioned, who has your money? You have everybody else's money. Who has your money? So who has and in my words, I would say, who has your automatic deposit? Whose automatic withdrawal will be your automatic deposit? So you need to break that down. And there's a whole nother way to figure that out by determining where your passion is, determining where you love what you love, determining where you're smart at, where you're logical at, determining where you feel like you are one of the top players in. If you're just a dude who just got a 5 3-pointer, then there's a way to monetize off of that 3-pointer. There is. In this era where you can make so much content, especially if you got the time. If you're not trying to do what I'm doing and taking the route that I'm doing, which right hand to the man, I'm so grateful. But if you're not trying to raise your kids as a single dad and hold it down and be a good son and be a good grandson and be a good nephew, and if you're not having that many people to show up for, then you should just show up to yourself to the fullest extent and make sure you're using all your time wisely to figure out what I just said and figuring out, like, okay, who has my automatic deposit? Because you already know whose automatic deposit you have, because we said it. Kroger's, Publix, Target. For some of y'all who probably shouldn't even be in this Target section, you can take some of that Target money and put it in your automatic deposit. So really understanding that, y'all. So to wrap it all up, like I said, put a little cajita and put a little bar on top. That is what's keeping you last in this race to becoming your best financial self. Paying yourself last is what's keeping you last in this financial race to becoming your best financial self. When you learn to pay yourself first, you will slowly grow in the race, and you will slowly move up in the race to be closer to first into paying yourself, or should I say first into being your best financial self. So once again, paying yourself last is what's keeping you last in the race. You need to go from surviving to striving. You're in the survival mode because you're paying people out of survival, and everybody has your money because you're paying them. You go to the striving mode by paying yourself first and figuring out who has your money and figuring out who has your direct deposit. You're putting those people have a direct withdrawal of your money. They take your money out and you pay your bills with it to them. You need to reverse that and figure out who will directly pay you when their money's withdrawn and deposited into your account, y'all. I'm at the 30-minute mark, y'all. This will be one of so many white boys with waters, but hopefully this was able to help y'all. I will go back, look at this, and see what I had said. I wanted to do a part 2 on a part 3, might even just bust it down and do something totally different, but still related to this. But hopefully I got the concept. Definitely gonna work it out too, to where I might have to just flip the camera around and so y'all can see what it says, make it better. I'm all about improvement, all about evolution, all about growing and evolving, and I want y'all to be able to see this. Oh, I didn't say it twice. I said it. I just thought about it right now. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Sharing is caring, and when you caring, you sharing. And yeah, man, hopefully I keep it short and sweet to the point. I hope y'all got some knowledge out of this and be able to remember it, duplicate it, give it to those other people. Because the goal is, once again, to aid people to being the first person in their family to set their financial compass in the right direction. So remember to stay well, be conscious, and write your world into existence. Love.